Mm-hmm.
Jim Jones, the former head of Human Foods at the FDA, recently complained in an article that his department had fundamental people in it who were nutritionists and people who analyzed chemicals and who were essential for the Human Foods Department, which is a $1.6 billion budget, by the way. And he was, asserting that this was indiscriminate.
A open bowler brought this ball in last night. He told me he has had it for years and would like to clean it up and make it shine again.
Oh, say less.
After working some of the deeper scratches down with the bevel knife, I start the process with the diamond blades to remove most of the scratches and round the ball up. After the diamond blades, I start the process of Abralon pads. The ball still had some big scratches, so I started with a lower grit of 180, which you can tell because of how cloudy the surface is. The bigger scratches were removed after last pass, so moving up to a 500 grit Abralon pad on this step. Going to continue to keep moving up to finer grit Abralon pads. This step is using a 1000 grit pad. The surface is starting to look more clear with each pad. Continuing to move up pads, we are at 2000 grit for this step. The cover is looking really good. Moving up to a 4000 Abralon pad for the last pass on the Haas machine. Now that the Abralon stage is done, it's time to polish this ball.
What in the blue hell are you smiling at, you sick freak?
After applying a dime-sized amount of polish, I apply a little pressure to the ball, making sure to not stay in the same place. I work 10 to 15 seconds on each side to make sure it's a good, even polish. Before we show the finished product, let's remind you what it started off as. Night and day difference. The reaction of the customer was priceless.
Guy's serious
The
about
Budweiser
bowl.
bottle looks like it's in a sheet of glass now. Like and follow for more videos.
It's going to be a long one. I hope you stick around. Regardless of what you may have been told or led to believe, the two biggest dangers that we faced over the last 4 years had nothing to do with COVID. Nothing to do with the Ukrainian war, nothing to...
If your TikTok not getting any views, it's not because you...
Getting them views.
Hello, my friend. Perez Hilton here, the queen of all media, the original.
This guy is still
influencer,
around?
And I previously shared with you all that
God.
Oscar-winning actor Gene Hackman and his wife were found dead yesterday in their Santa Fe, New Mexico home, alongside their dog. But now we are learning some very disturbing new details. Hackman was 95 years old. His wife, Betsy, was 64. Earlier reports put her age at 63. And according to local police, she had signs of mummification. Santa Fe cops went to perform a welfare check on the two of them after a concerned neighbor alerted them that something was off. They hadn't been seen. When police arrived at
All right,
the
Perez, get on with it.
scene, the warrant stated that one of the deputies suspected Hackman had suddenly fallen. It appears that Betsy was dead for quite some time because her body was in a state of decomposition with bloating in her face and mummification in her hands and feet. There are also a lot of other noteworthy things to pay attention to. As I mentioned, Hackman's wife was discovered in the bathroom. A deputy saw a black space heater near her head. The deputy believed the heater could have fallen in the event that Betsy abruptly fell to the ground. And the space heater being next to her could have contributed to the decomposition that was observed by alive on their property. And now authorities in Santa Fe are labeling their death as, quote, suspicious. Thoroughly investigate and concluded, quote, as of now, there are no signs or evidence indicating there were any problems associated to the pipes in and around the residence. He and Betsy were married since the 90s but did not have any children. The actor did have 3 kids. Brilliant.
All right, that's enough.
Pro marriage tip. If you find that your wife has become hysterical and angry, the worst thing you could do is tell her to calm down. If you really want to get a word in and have her not speak for a little bit so that you can talk, just let her know that she is starting to act like her mother. And you didn't sign up to marry her mother, because if you did, you'd have a clean house and a home-cooked meal. Pro marriage tip. If you find that your wife has...
And premium wireless.
Good evening. We begin tonight here with the shocking and unprecedented blow-up in the Oval Office. Something
Oh,
we
it's
have not
fucking
seen
hysterical.
before. President Trump and Ukraine's President Zelensky. The meeting descending into an extraordinary clash. The U.S. has been Ukraine's most important ally after Russia invaded 3 years ago. But today that relationship... Good evening. We begin tonight here with the President Trump and President Zelensky in the Oval Office. Vice President Vance sitting right beside them. The Vice President berating President Zelensky, asking him, have you said thank you for anything in this meeting? Saying diplomacy with Russia is the only way. And when Zelensky tried to point out that Russia has rejected diplomatic efforts in these years of war, the meeting spiraled. President Trump telling Zelensky, you're gambling with World War III. Telling Zelensky and making any kind of deal, you don't have the cards. President Zelensky left the Oval Office for another room at the White House.
Confrontation in...
in love with, him either. So...
Diplomacy in the past, Putin broke the deal.
He broken this ceasefire. To Ukraine that you say what problems we have.
We're going to feel very good.
Feel influenced.
We're going to feel very good and very...
So you just be like running around the neighborhood and your parents wouldn't know where you are? Set you back by dinner. Which was around what time? Sunset-ish time? Sunset-ish time? What's that? 5 and 9. 5 and 9? It really wasn't that big of a deal. Okay, well, did you have a phone? No, there weren't any. So on top of your parents letting you run around without knowing where you are, they also had no way to communicate with you to find out. Yeah, that's pretty much the gist of it. How did you not get abducted? Maybe that stuff wasn't as prevalent when I was a kid. It's also entirely possible that my generation has more common sense and it was smarter and tougher than your generation. Nah, I don't believe that. I think that is the case, and I can prove to you. Can you just follow me to my van? I'll show you. The van? There's candy. Okay. So you just be like running around the neighborhood and your parents would...
Can I ask you?
Sure.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So he occupied our parts, big parts of it.
So when you see the Los Angeles thing, and it was like an electric shock to the whole green DEI mentality, and you started to learn certain things about it. It was a pastime of very elite, wealthy people. So suddenly they were saying, there's no police protection. My house burned down, but I had a safe, and I had Krugerrands and gold and all these things. Well, what did you think when you voted to decriminalize looting and theft to $950? And then they said, well, we cleaned out all of our area around our house, but the county owned that hill, and they said the milk vetch was a protected species of bush, so they never cleaned it off, and the fire came right up and it burned the milk vetch and then burned my house down. Yes, that's what it does when some people come in and they try to sue the city and say that's a milk vetch protected species. And it was like, oh, wow, the mayor doesn't know anything about fire. We have 100...
What the fuck is milk
The
vetch?
fire chief has 100 fire vehicles that are sitting there with no money to repair them. And she says that her job starts when the water comes out the hydrant. The deputy mayor of safety is under house supervision. And they think, well, who hired these people? You did. Because they fit a particular ideology whose consequences you're never subject to. Because your zip code, your money, your degree, your net.
Can I get some context? So this guy makes videos, and what he does is just goes out in the world and kills bots. Yeah. Okay, so now he made a website to rank other people on their killing blows against bots. So people are like fighting to go up a leaderboard to see how many bots they can kill. It's actually kind of brilliant.
80 bots and uploaded everything in the same day to me. So it's 28 different videos, but with many different bot clips in each of them.
Bro, this is insane. Hardcore cleaning crew. The HCC just going out and killing bots in the world. What?
Those videos.
Bro, if I'm Blizzard, you just hire this guy. You throw him on salary. He clearly loves this stuff, right? You put him in there. He's flying around. He not only is he checking out where they're not supposed to be, but he's doing some investigative researching and seeing, oh, is this just someone, you know, who's an actual player or is it a bot? Boom, he has like 95+% accuracy, maybe even 99.
Do not take invites from people that try to grief you. There's an unknown griefer called Buckley on the Soul Seeker server. He basically asks to do a ridiculous trade where he will pay you way too much gold for an item. Then you invites you to the party, and then he uses a mortar that you can craft.
What? Bro, what? I'd be so mad.
And he one-shots characters. He's trying to kill banking characters. For instance, I have 1.7k gold on my bank. If one guy did this to me, it would be catastrophic. This guy is, I don't know, level 20, 30. I don't know what level this guy is. But if you have less than 500 HP, anyone can basically kill you using this method.
Bro, my bank has less
that's
than
one
that.
thing to notice. Do not take
so
party
sketch.
invites. If you're
Like they've done studies on Girl Scout cookies where they break them down and find out what's in them. Oh, holy shit. They're fucking toxic as fuck. Thin Mints being the worst offenders. 5 flavors of Girl Scout cookies contained... Scroll up, back up. Contained levels of glyphosate and heavy metals above EPA water safety limits. New investigation found 100% of tested Girl Scout cookies contained glyphosate. 100%. Controversial herbicide and Roundup. 88% contained toxic metals like arsenic, lead, and mercury. Key finding, Thin Mints had the highest glyphosate levels at 111.07 ppb, 334 times what experts say is harmful. Peanut butter patties had the highest heavy metal contamination, with lead reaching 42.5 ppb and aluminum at 27,500 ppm. 76% of cookies tested exceeded cadmium safety limits, and 96 contained lead.
That's wild.
Girl Scout USA, which sells 200 million boxes per year, $800
How
million
the fuck do you get
revenue.
cadmium in?
I am stupid good at the game. What was that?
I don't know, but it's scared.
Is there any truth to Hakeem slapping the shit out of you at halftime one time? What happened? He said there's a lot of truth to it.
Motherfucker, a lot of truth in that shit. That motherfucker like he scrape his hands on the ground and shit. Motherfucker, oh my goodness. That hit me so goddamn hard. Where's in Seattle? Goddamn, I'm having a bad first half. So I'm mad. When I'm getting mad, I should spit. I'm walking, I'm spitting. And the niggas, Sam sitting up and Robert beside me. Man, it's gonna be all right, Max. Come on, man, you're gonna be okay. Man, fuck this shit. Man, these niggas ain't giving me the ball. These niggas won't pass the ball, man. Fuck this shit. So Dream behind me. And Dream like, Maxie, what the fuck is you doing? That shit's not professional. Don't do that shit. Stop that shit. I was like, Dream, man, fuck that shit. Man, I'm tired of you too. And why would I say that shit there? I shouldn't have said that. Because he came in and put his goddamn hands up, big old hands on me.
In the locker room?
Oh, man, he slapped the shit out of me when I sat down.
Coming from the back?
Oh, man, wait.
Stop. Stop. You're being annoying. Didn't mean it. Come down here. Look how pretty.
3 quality of life add-ons to help your WoW play. First off is Best in Slot Tooltip.
This add-on not only will tell you if it's your best in slot, but it'll also tell you where to get it. This is a super effective way to find your best in slot without having to Google. Second on the list, Hikili Priority Helper. Similar to Max DPS, this is a rotation helper. This is really helpful in learning new classes' rotations, as well as boosting your damage. Traditionally, the add-on looks like this. However, if you prefer a Max DPS style, you can go to Multiple on your settings. On this tab, you can click on Spell Flash, and this will directly highlight the keys that you need to press in real time. This is my preferred way of using it. Finally, Misspelled.
Do you see demons, sister?
Yes.
Is there a demon in this room now?
Yes.
Where?
You know where? I asked to be judged by a 3-person priestly council. Only then may I be forced to retire.
Is that her right?
It is. She's also allowed a psychological analysis of her condition.
I can do that.
No, it has to be administered by an outside psychiatrist.
Good afternoon. I have been asked. Your political system's so broken. Before we continue, if you could please point on the map to where you live. That's just a map of the United States. I don't live. Ah, you're close. This is a map of places you could live for me to potentially start giving a shit about your political opinion. And you'll notice, whatever continent you're from, not on here. California isn't on there either. I am aware. Your political...
I'm going to show you something weird that your brain does. Describe in just a few words what that person is holding in their hand. There's no trick here. Most of you probably said something like, it's a little red ball. But if you had a friend for whom English was not their first language and they said, it is a red little ball, you would probably correct them and say, well, no, we say it the other way. We say little red ball. And they may be confused because they were not taught a grammar rule about what order the adjectives had to be in.
Superman.
No wonder Gene Hackman's 2 daughters went out for breakfast, smiling the day after his death. His nephew, Tim Hackman, revealed the truth. According to reports, 95-year-old Hackman and his 64-year-old wife, Betsy Arakawa's bodies were found at home. However, what's strange is that, according to the coroner, they had been dead for about 2 weeks. This means that in these 2 weeks, their 2 daughters had not contacted them. What's even stranger is that after learning this heartbreaking news, the 2 sisters still went out and ate breakfast smiling the next day. In an interview, one of them said she wasn't too shocked by their father's death, while the other said they had a close relationship but hadn't spoken to him in months. This is truly puzzling and incomprehensible.
Stop using ChatGPT like everyone else.
Boss, can't go past Enterprise van. She's no. Now I'm in the middle of it. But he's been honking. Oh, he literally just got in.
Serious?
Oh my god. That's one way to do it.
Just take a... You don't need a second job.
Pika died. Okay, I heard about that. I've not seen. Okay, so they pull it. It's this pull. So
that should be the one that gets succeed.
Hope this guy just doesn't run around the
Yep.
wall.
So let it come all the way around, and then on fire. Right
That is a insta crit heal.
The other on me.
So that's gonna pull threat on all of them.
I got you.
Fade? He does fade. Okay. I mean, he has to heal.
Yo, get a fucking attack, please.
Yeah.
Dude!
Coming?
Oh my.
No.
What the fuck? No.
Oh my god, dude.
No. Can we kill them? Are we running to the safe spot?
Yeah, I mean, like, you just don't expect a health bar to just trim down that quickly. I mean, yeah, it's on the priest. He's gonna die really fast, but you just don't expect it. Peekaboo fucking died. The guy just can't, he's not cut out for Classic WoW clearly because it's the second time Peekaboo has died the week before he's supposed to raid lead. So he's either throwing on purpose or dumb as fuck. It's one or the other, I don't know. Pika.
Holy shit, I was not expecting this. Whoa. Big Titty Committee, did we just find our new favorite bra? Clips in the and then when you clip it in the front,
Another one?
cleavage. I don't care who you are, if you have boobs, you
What the fuck is that? Is that a fucking pancake?
What do you want to hit? Let's hit legs. I don't think that would be such a good idea. What? Why? Because we haven't hit legs in months, and if we do, we're going to be sore and limping for days, which doesn't look great after coming back from a trip to Thailand. Or give you the perfect excuse for why you are limping. Yeah, but I'm not limping. Why would I need an excuse to limp? Chest?
Here's how I make 100 shorts per hour with AI. First, grab any long-form video, whether it's a YouTube.
I have seen no less than 50 liberals on this platform telling each other to stock up today and tomorrow so that they can boycott on Friday. And that type of logic is perfect for these fucking idiots. I have seen no less than 50 liberals on this platform telling each other to stock up today and tomorrow.
What if a pulsar were to enter our solar system? Would we even survive? A pulsar is a highly magnetic and rapidly rotating neutron star, the densest object in the universe. Imagine a star that's only a few miles in diameter, but spins hundreds of times per second, generating an intense magnetic field. Let's simulate what would happen if a pulsar were to enter our solar system.
You have the chance of taking this sick.
As most of you guys know, I'm in the middle of a lawsuit because a girl decided to dress like me, like an office siren, and got herself fired from a corporate. You guys are wondering what she was wearing or what outfit she probably used. This one. I hope you can see. Whoa. Come on now. As most of you guys know, I'm in the middle of a lawsuit because.
I often hear permanent dental implants are
Why am
expensive.
I on like
What if I just went with a
Pulsar
temporary?
TikTok?
These foreigners always come out here and don't want to pay for work. They don't ever want to fucking pay for work. Marvel right here. Don't want to pay for no job done on an axle surgeon. Yep, so this is what happens when you don't fucking want to pay for a job. We start repoing our shit fucking back. take it back. Don't want to pay to get the service done, so we take it back. These foreigners.
I mean, you'll need a few adjustments.
These foreigners always come out here and don't want to pay for work. They don't ever want to fucking pay for work. Marvel right here.
I mean, you'll need a few adjustments, but you're gonna make a fine set of bagpipes.
What the f? Okay. Besides the fact that you're obviously joking, my ghostly form cannot be harmed by one from the physical realm.
We'll likely need some extra pipes. Then there's a matter of where I'm blowing into.
You're a formidable foe, I'll give you that. Which means you'll make a formidable puppet! You are now under my control, hero. With your raw power and comically wide build, I shall slay thousands! Wait, why aren't you moving?
Uh-oh. Looks like you've gotten yourself trapped, Spirit.
How? What the hell even are you? No, let me out. We can forget this ever happened. What are you doing now? No, stop that. That is a lot of salt. Why? Are you done? No. What are you doing? No, stop, no!
What the fuck was that?
Do you want a really cool fact that will make you sound smart at your next social gathering?
What was that?
Now, this one is really good if your gathering takes place.
So you guys have a proposal?
So, we were talking, and we both came to this idea. I don't know where it originally came from, but we thought we'd bring it to you.
Bring it to the
and really
board.
figure out how.
I have this hilarious / PK got to 23 last night. Wait, really? Didn't he log out in at 15? 15 to 23 in a day is like, that's like incredible speeds, especially if you're not mob tagging at all. There's level 60 showing up randomly, tanking 20 plus mobs, needing help from a level 17 mage. Okay, this is starting to add up.
Holy shit.
Dude, stop leaving.
He left the group. Badger Bill says they followed me here. Peekaboo leaves his group. Oh
That's
my
strike two.
gosh.
Who is? Dude, oh my god.
Bro.
You're so annoying. What is
Holy shit.
Wait, dude, why did you? Okay. I'm inviting you. I'm going in. Dude, accept, please.
Bro, that's actually kind of insane. He just got like a bar and a half of XP. PK got to 23 last night. Wait, really? Didn't he log out in at 15? 15 to 20.
At Mint Mobile, we're all... Hey babe, I just booked us a beach house for your birthday. I can't wait for our trip.
Elon Musk were here right now, what would you tell him?
Go back where you come from.
America? Or
Where he came from.
South Africa?
South Africa?
South Africa, right?
Oh, gotta go.
Elon Musk were here right now.
It's got a motherfucker P. Y'all know what the fuck going on. Bitch, I'm from Memphis. What you?
This was removed from the history books.
It was the story about George Washington, the bulletproof president. Yeah, you know.
Why are bops lying about their age? Guys, I literally know some of them in person. We've talked online. There's people that know you in real life and know your age. Are you not embarrassed? Ugh. It's a little bit weird. It's actually a lot weird. Like, you're 23. It's not that old.
Did you ever go to Washington Square Park and play those monsters? There was one guy who played like very strange moves, right? Like he put like just a couple of pawns, one square forward, and then he started developing his pieces very slowly. So at first I thought this guy has no idea what he's doing. Then it turned out like he actually had a system. So after like 10-15 moves, I was in a lot of trouble. And then like the game became super concrete and tactical, and I won. But this guy like I think he just played in the park all his life, so he had developed a certain system that was actually like kind of effective if you don't know what you're doing. Did you ever go to Washington Square Park?
Life's a balancing.
I want you guys to see how a mom dog treats dad when puppies are around.
direct eye contact.
Okay.
It is 2025 now. If you're not wearing...
Breaking news and a major update on a story that's confusing on its surface. I'm going to explain it as simply as I possibly can so you can share this and make sure you like it and comment on it. A lot of people need to be educated on what's going on here. Make sure you're following as well. A district judge, U.S. district judge based out of Washington, name is...
God.
Doge dividends, $5,000. That's pretty cool, right? From the government. The government wants to refund us. This from a projected savings of about $2 trillion.
Oh, so you support allowing...
Y'all can't do this with y'all dog. Shit.
Alright, King, let me get this food from you real quick, bro. Let me get this from you. Can I have some? Appreciate you, best sit. Alright, you can have it back now. Good boy. Good boy. Get up.
The key with China is if we did to China what they're doing to us, they would go to war with us. So if we sent 300,000 Americans over there and they were systematically, 1% of them bringing technology back, or we sent a balloon across the Chinese, or we started to do things about their espionage cyber attacks, they would go crazy. So it's all predicated on the United States doesn't do what we do.
Watch this plumber take apart this castrating with his bare hands.
went to Target with her. My mom was a nurse for 30 years. She's retired. I said, out of nowhere, while we're pushing a cart, "Gad, I have a splitting sinus headache." She goes, "Oh, here," and roots through her giant purse and goes, "Take this." And I took it. And about a second later, I hear, "Oh."
So the reverse cowgirl position needs to not exist anymore. Couple reasons. Biggest reason is, why is it that the men get to enjoy all the pleasures of a woman, her movements up and down, side to side? It's beautiful to watch. And then us, women, what do we get? We get to look at your toes. We get to look at your toes, throwing up gang signs, trying to talk to us in ASL. No more. We're going to turn around the right way. No more backwards, reverse cowgirl.
Well, these patches help me avoid knee surgery.
I don't think I've ever seen a greater example of how disconnected from reality our federal employees are.
The feeling that I felt was...
Come give me something I can feel. I don't need new.
The video you will watch cost $1 billion. Yes, you heard me right. That's the exact price CVS.
I overhear hospice nurse say he's got hours left. And by the way, I was in this state for 10 months.
Did you know these are hidden in the bottom of the...
Real. Real turf? Real grass. What are these? Where are these little fins holding down? Okay. Okay.
Is your member of Congress a piece of shit? Let's find out. Today we're going to be grading the financial integrity of Chris Pappas from New Hampshire's 1st Congressional District. Alright, so he's been in office since 2019. Last cycle of the $4 million that he raised, 30% of those funds came from PACs, 6% of those funds came from small individual donations, and 60% of those funds came from large individual donations. He does hold a couple of individual stocks with...
Want to learn how I went from this to this? Design Edition. Let's...
So I was filming the core and promoting a movie that was coming out.
Okay. I know these look like computers.
Okay, go! Ow. Ow.
Here.
Hello.
She's on the hip hook.
I learned that racism is passed down generationally.
Hey. Hi. Oh, nice to meet you. Nice to meet you as well. Nice. Oh, you were the real deal. I'm going to ask you a question. Sure. Okay? Being that me and Pavitt are over here and we're being all friendly. Do you remember the Rolex co-branded Tiffany & Company watches?
Intimately.
I'm sure you do.
Because I was the guy that would stamp them on the dials.
There we go.
Because Tiffany had their own stamp. They would actually, let me sit down. Tiffany would receive watches from Rolex and actually any other brand that they sold. Because at that point, we had a year exclusive with Blancpain. When Blancpain came to the States, we had them exclusively for a year. Breguet, AP. But some people would not like to have their Tiffany on the dial. So
Right.
some we would get, including Rolexes. Rolexes would come from Switzerland stamped. Some would be stamped down the street.
And some were at Fifth Avenue were stamped.
Yes, because some people didn't. 7th floor. That was my shop.
Can I tell you something? Sure. What you're telling me right now, I've been telling guys this for years, okay, that the dials were actually stamped here, most of them. Different, they did them some at Tiffany, when they came out of Tiffany, and some of them came out of, at the Rolex building on 5th Avenue. Then they had different ones that were stamped in Switzerland.
At least 4 different fonts.
That is correct. Wow. This is, let me tell you something. This is like the best interview that I've had in years right now. No, I'm dead serious, because everybody wants to have their own opinion about that. You're entitled to your own opinion. You're not entitled to your own facts. I've been telling people this for years about Tiffany dials. And one of my watchmaker used to do the ones over at Rolex. And they used to use the little cliche like that. Right. And they used to use. And
it's a big rubber bulb that would, you'd slide it over, dip it in the ink.
You're retired. We're going to go off the record here. Many watchmakers, back in the day, before they had security, metal detectors, all this, they would bring their own dials in. And that's where a lot of Tiffany dials came from that are on many different watches that are floating around now. You can always tell the real ones because they're a little sloppy. They have that every one is a little different.
And a lot of the paddocks are not level.
That's
they
correct.
have a very, very slight tilt.
Shout out.
They've got a two-tone.
Yeah, I'm swinging big dick energy. Yeah, my shawty's got them triple D. I stay crossing off of my list. Got my money and my bitch. That's a check.
So President Trump and Vice President Vance just essentially berated Ukrainian President Zelensky before canceling their press conference, not signing any sort of mineral deal, and kicking him out of the White House, saying you can come back when you're actually ready for peace. President Zelensky's response to this was a statement he just posted saying, "Thank you, America. Thank you for your support. Thank you for this visit." Watch, as an American, if I'm being honest. I've never seen anything like this. We, of course, have disagreements, like they were piling on Zelensky for theater, and he off and not let him answer.
An 18-year-old with the talents and skills to earn lots of money legally, but now he's in jail accused.
So what are we doing? Explain that.
Rolling the strap up with a strap. Pull the strap back over the top. Just like that. I'm going to hold these two together. I'm going to hold them. As I pull with this hand, I'm going to let this hand float up. I'm not going to let it go. I'm just going to let it float up. So I'm going to slide, slide, slide.
Okay, I only have... Ooh. Small habit, big result.
Hit one of them. So that should be the one that gets succeed. Hope this guy just doesn't run around the wall. Yep. Okay, good. So let it come all the way around, and then on the fire.
Okay, looks good.
Yeah.
Looks good. Fade. Yep, looks good.
I got you.
Yeah, he was gaming up. I'm just gonna pause the clip. There's 12 seconds left. This looks really good. I'm really confused. It's a pull around the corner, double destroyer. Yeah, we don't land the trap. Like, I'm not reading chat because I know you guys already know what happens. I haven't seen this.
Get it. Attack, please.
Dude!
I feel like no one talks about how hard and painful it is to be the black.
I don't know what man needs to know and understand this, but if every single time
you go to your wife or your girlfriend and you try to tell her about something that bothers you and it turns into an argument, it's time to leave.
And how does it make you feel?
For example, most people will do a shoulder press that doesn't even go through an effective range of motion. They'll start the movement with the anterior delt already in a shortened position and just shorten it even more. It's ridiculous. One of the main reasons your side delts are such tricky bastards to train is because these rotator cuff muscles are more involved than most people realize. So let's first start out with the front raise and see if we...
I'm coming to Boston, I'm bringing hell with me.
Let's get this national fucking be kicking. Come on, lads. He's going up.
I'm coming to
Just got my grocery delivery. We're missing.
What would happen if the sea levels dropped by 1 kilometer? Canada would expand massively as Hudson Bay dries up, nearly doubling its size. It would even connect to Greenland, creating a land bridge to Europe through Iceland. In the US, Florida would stretch far into the Caribbean, while the Gulf of Mexico would disappear entirely, turning it into solid land. Europe would be unrecognizable. The UK and Ireland would merge and reconnect to mainland Europe, bringing back Doggerland, the lost land from the Ice Age. Meanwhile, Spain and Italy would extend into North Africa, forming a new land corridor across the Mediterranean. Africa wouldn't change much, but Madagascar and the Seychelles would merge with the mainland, adding vast new land. In Asia, Japan would connect to South Korea, making it a landlocked country, while Taiwan would become part of China, completely reshaping the region. And in the Pacific, Australia would expand towards Indonesia, connect...
If you're between 50 and 63...
You're on my land.
Sheriff, I'm FBISAC Cal Doherty. I have tactical command.
And we have a warrant to search this property, signed by a federal judge. I don't recognize your authority.
We're coming in anyway.
You ever been in a firefight, Mrs. Jaqueen?
I was in one yesterday.
Was it against a piglet and about 40 guys just come back from Iraq shooting towel heads? Because I guarantee you this one's going to end a little differently.
It was a piglet that went missing from the sheriff's storage depot, wasn't it?
I'm going to say it again. You're on my land.
Sheriff, I'm going to name 2 names. You're going to show me 2 faces.
Is that a man or a serious breakfast?
Dorothy Lyon.
Who?
Nadine Bump, your ex-wife?
I get it now. You joined the witch hunt.
You know what a witch hunt is, right? Not witches hunting men, but men killing women to keep them in line.
Well, I tell you what, there's about a battalion of gunslingers out there with no sense of humor that are burning rubber to come penetrate you from behind. So, if I were you, I'd get out of here. Now.
Can't do it, Slim. Now, move that rig, let us in, and maybe this doesn't end with you in handcuffs on the evening news.
Well, you don't get it, do you? This is the path I'm on. Starts at birth and it ends here. This isn't a trip to Starbucks on the way to the office. This isn't an idea. God cuts our names into bone, and that's who we become. He blows his holy trumpet and the walls fall down. You all came here to find Lot's wife, but she's already a pillar of salt and she ain't turning back. So, go and live, or stay and die. It's up to you. Cancer can't survive outside of the body. She came into the house, used the phone, called in the cavalry, but they got here too fast. What'd you do with the lawyer's car?
One of the boys drove it back to Minnesota.
Cell phone in it? But it pinged the tower while it was here. So they know he was here, then disappeared. That means the Queen of Debt makes a call. Weaponizes the deep state. Justice for the suits and ties. Now it's war.
Happy 5-year anniversary to...
Booty blue.
This is something that I've always known about myself, but it still ticks me off to this day. So I have my dad's build. I'm built like a shit brick house. I am a literal tree. I am built like a Viking.
Well, after 23 years, he had a good run. But I guess he gave up the ghost. Ah, shit.
I just wanna touch you, teach you, lick you, please you, love you, hold you, make love.
Here's how to get 2 pieces of 645 eye level gear before season 2 even starts for World of Warcraft: The War Within. For some reason, the weekly quest in Ringing Deeps, Gearing Up for Trouble, where you do the 20 waves, is giving season 2 veteran gear. The second source of 645 eye level gear is the weekly world quest in Undermine,
where you have to unlock it, the 3 quests first, and then you grab this cache here. As you can see, I got an offhand from Awakening the Machine Weekly Ring and Deeps, and you can actually upgrade this to eye level 645 with 45 carved crests. Now remember, these new undermine crests, here's a secret trick. If you haven't done any of the carved crests or the crest quests from the renowned quartermasters, they're actually available and they upgrade it to have the new season 2 crests. So grab those if you haven't yet on an alt or whatever. All other Dornagle weeklies will also give you crest. Good luck out there.
Der Kippmoment. Boah. Der Kippmoment. Boah. Eine ganze Halle fiebert mit.
Die Rampe bewegt sich.
Oh, der Pokal, er bleibt stabil, er bleibt stabil. Noch wackelt er. Benjamin Danker.
Ist das soft? Ist das gut? Ist das cool? Ist das präzise?
Und jetzt geht's gegen die Uhr.
Die Zinken sind raus.
4 Minuten sind rum. Jetzt schnell parken und nach oben laufen auf dem Weg ins Finale. Der Titelverteidiger schafft das hier nach oben. Unser 425 mit der Frankenstolz Arena im Rücken.
Der Kipp.
You married, right?
Yeah.
So black one, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
How does that happen?
How does that happen?
How does that happen?
I'm
saying a white guy from
Well, I
Massachusetts.
watched I watched Different Strokes growing up, and I had a crush on Janet Jackson. How does that happen?
Where'd you meet her?
First time I met her, I was with her dad, who was booking the Apollo. So I was doing Showtime at the Apollo, and she was standing out back.
Oh, she's black.
So I watched
She was standing out back?
They never had any light-skinned black people at the Apollo. It was my wife is gorgeous. She's gorgeous. So that was one thing. But I didn't really. I was coming up the back stairs and someone was getting booed, and I just remember thinking like, why am I doing this? I didn't need to do this. This all started with like that Patrice shit, where he was always, with you. So he was like, you have a good set. And he would and then he started talking about Talent Will's room around the corner, saying like, there's a bunch of comics over there that are 10 times funnier than all you white guys and da-da-da-da-da. And, so it kind of felt like, all right, he was like, I just won a championship. And somebody saying, no, there's some guys across the way that could kick your ass. They're not allowed in the league. So it's like, all right, I got to go play them. So I started doing those rooms. And then that led. And then I was thinking like, well, this would be great. I'll do the black rooms. I'll also do the white rooms. And then I can draw that crowd that I heard on those Richard Pryor albums. Didn't happen. But I ended up doing the Apollo, and that's where I met her. But I met her again on Tough Crowd. She was doing Tough Crowd with Colin Quinn, and we kind of hit it off. And I remember I just kept asking her out, and she just kept being a jerk. And right as I was, typical woman, right? The second I was like, what the hell with her? The hell with her. Ended up running into her, and then all of a sudden she was like really nice, and we were hanging out. Oh my God, this guy was blocking me so bad that night. Such an epic level.
You don't blame him, obviously.
No, it's because no. Why? What do you mean?
I mean, because she's so beautiful that you understand why he would come.
No, that's not why he was doing. Okay, I got it. No, you don't have all the information.
Okay, give me the information.
This guy's advocating about this. It's like, how did you get that chair? Advocating that shit. No, he was doing it because he was miserable in his own relationship. So like he saw me like, and it was like, it was like fireworks. Like we just like, I mean,
love at first sight, basically.
Yeah, like I've only met 2 people that had like a vibe like her in my life.
This is what licorice is so.
Geographically, North America is one of the hardest places on planet Earth to possibly ever invent.
this meeting. And that was a plan for peace. No, instead he just talked shit, told us the war was gonna be on our doorstep soon, and expected us to cut another fucking check. Let me explain something. I'm gonna say it real fucking slow for the liberals in the back. Ukraine's military cannot defeat Russia. It does not matter how much money we or the EU give them. They cannot defeat Russia, which means this only ends one of two fucking ways. Russia conquers Ukraine, or Ukraine sues for peace. And I'm sure there's some of you gonna be in my comment of Ukraine can defeat them. Okay, good, that if Ukraine can defeat Russia, if you're one of these fucking delusional Americans that thinks Ukraine's military can actually defeat Russia, then stop pretending that Russia's military is a challenge for the United States. If you think Ukraine can defeat them, stop pretending that we need to keep spending trillions of dollars to develop new military to make sure we're safe from the Russians. If Ukraine can defeat them, they are not an enemy of ours. If Ukraine can defeat them just with funding from us, we don't need to worry. Either Russia is one of the biggest, strongest, baddest fucking militaries on the planet, as our intelligence agencies keep telling us, and that's why we need to spend trillions to build new fucking planes, new tanks, new technology, new missiles, or they can be defeated by Ukraine. Like, y'all aren't fucking thinking this through. Like, just sheer fucking numbers. Ukraine cannot defeat Russia. We need to stop pretending like they can. Zelensky needed to show up with a path forward for peace, but he didn't. He showed up just wanting more money because Zelensky doesn't want the war to end. Because if the war ends, he loses all his power. He doesn't have his whole country under martial law anymore. He actually has to have an election. He actually has to have a media that can question his decision. He actually has to allow political opponents to campaign against him. And he doesn't want to go back to dancing on fucking television shows. They were rude to Zelensky because he didn't do his fucking homework. He didn't do the one thing they asked him to do, and that is plan for peace. All he wanted was another check so he could continue the fucking war. A war he cannot win. Get that through your fucking heads.
And that's not who we are as Americans. Let's understand what happened here. I actually met with Zelensky a few days before Russia invaded, tried through force to change territorial boundaries, to defy one of the most important international rules and norms, which is the importance of sovereignty and territorial integrity. And I met with President Zelensky.
Europeans do not respect Americans. You can protest and say, no, we love America. No, you don't. We know you look down on us. You think you're better than us. And in some ways you are. You know, you work 35 hours a week. You have longer vacations. You've got this magnificent culture. We get it. But any relationship in which one side doesn't respect the other can't last. This thing where Ukraine comes to the White House and acts like it can tell us what we should do, that's not what the relationship is. This thing where somehow we're on the hook, including for countries that are not in NATO, that was never the deal. Ukraine is not part of NATO. We were never obligated to protect Ukraine. Maybe that was something that Europe wants to do. Great, Europe should go protect Ukraine. We have no NATO agreement with Ukraine. And this thing where then Zelensky then goes and like quotes all these other European leaders, they're with me, not with the United States. Great. Go work together. We have 100,000 Americans being killed by the Chinese and Mexican fentanyl and methamphetamine mafias every year. Our kids are not learning to read. We have thousands of veterans with PTSD.
Trouble, you need help. I think it was a misunderstanding on their behalf, the real intention of the West. And they thought that the West will support them forever. And therefore, their behavior was not exactly as it would be seen as normal. Because if you are in trouble, you need help, you are going to somewhere to ask, it's not the right tone as they communicate with us. Anyway, but they thought that they can do so because the West will remain behind them forever. If you understand well the history of the Western politics, this is a misconcept, may I say. That's not what the West did in the last several years. No. So I was sure that sooner or later they will be let alone and say, guys, war is over, financial support is over, military support is over, let's make a deal, even if you have huge losses. This is the right moment. We would not like to risk a World War III. We would not like to risk a direct conflict with Russia on military fields. So my heart is with the Ukrainians, but they are in a big trouble.
Oh my god. Finally. Yes. I'm a huge fan of this. Yeah, this game is going to be really, really, really good. I'm very excited for this game. It's a mod? What? Okay, well, good. I'm going to download the mod. That's a great mod. Look at this. This is Monster Hunter. Look at this.
to walking in, so disrespectful in borderline pajamas, demanding billions of dollars, never saying thank you, and literally walking out because we had someone in charge that was obviously not competent and clearly maybe even didn't know what was going on. You don't have the upper hand here, and not only that, yeah, maybe you should say thank you to Americans, considering we've given you hundreds of billions of dollars, and a lot of people in this country not only don't agree with sending money there, they don't agree with the war. That is our money at the end of the day. We would probably rather help people that were affected in Hawaii, affected by the hurricanes. Look at how much California is burned to the ground. So yeah, this was great to see. And let's not forget that he was campaigning against Trump because he knew with Biden in charge, he would be getting unlimited money with no questions. And yes, this is exactly what we voted for. Oh, and if he comes...
When the war began back in February of 2022, it was just 7%. Up like a rocket ship, my goodness. Up now in February of 2025 to 41%. And the clear majority of Republicans, and of course Republicans are in charge of the U.S. government now, 62% of Republicans say that the U.S. support for Ukraine is too much. What a difference from just 3 years ago. I can remember, John, all those backyards in the United States with those Ukrainian flags. Far fewer of them today, as Americans' opinions on Ukraine have changed dramatically.
What about opinions of the Ukrainian president?
Right. You know, obviously, if you would expect changes amongst the public on feelings towards Ukraine, feelings towards Zelensky have changed also dramatically. Look at this. Confident Zelensky will do the right thing when it comes to world affairs. Back in 2022, it was the clear majority, 72% through the floor. Through the floor by 2024, just 48% of Americans say that they're confident that Zelensky will do the right thing when it comes to world affairs. And GOP